Hey, what's up? I'm going to show you guys how to sharpen a stainless steel knife. I showed you these stainless steel knives and I said they are hard to sharpen, so and this one's kind of dull, so I'm going to sharpen it for you. Show you how to do it. I'll sharpen this one, KBar Warthog, and a paring knife. So this is what we start off with. I'm not a big fan of oil stones. I think they really chew your knife up. They're a mess if you drop them on the floor, and they're just all around disgusting. Here we have a K80 water stone, or wet stone. Not wet like W-E-T, but it sounds more like wheat, the way they spell it. They go wet stone, Japanese wet stone. This is what they sharpen swords with, too. Okay. It's been soaking in warm water for about a half hour. It's like a sponge, it absorbs water. We're going to use the coarse side on here first. I think this is 800 grit. If I'm correct, it's 800. I don't even remember. I don't have the box anymore. Put some water on it. Hold on. Slipping around on there. Now the other way. So what you do is every stroke you're matching it with the opposite stroke. So I did 4 and 4. And this is a pretty forgiving stone. It's not going to chew your knife up. So you can play around till you get it right. If you have rough spots, you can go like this. Makes like a little paste on there. Stainless steel is much harder to sharpen than regular carbon steel. But once you get it sharp, the edge lasts like 3 times as long. We're almost there. Now, as you get toward the end where you think you're getting sharp enough, that's when we're going to go to the fine part of the stone. And your pressure comes up. You're not putting so much pressure on it. For every stroke, an opposite stroke. We flip it over to the fine side. You don't want to overdo with the fine side, because if you keep rolling over it and rolling over it, it's going to actually dull the knife. So only a few times. That's nice and sharp now. And you could apply the same method of rolling it. It kind of buffs the edge of the blade. That's more or less what this side is doing, is buffing it. See, the edge of a blade is like a hairbrush, right? And what happens is, and this is one of the reasons you use a steel, the hairs in the hairbrush get out of whack. So what a steel does, it brings them all back in line. But a steel can only do so much. Okay. That's nice and sharp now. Put that off to the side. Let's do a little more difficult one. That will be the KBar Warthog. So we're going to do a different way of sharpening it. Back and forth. You're going from the bottom of the edge to the top. So you're going swipe, 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 and then the opposite will be swipe, swipe, swipe. Make sense? These KBar knives touch up real easy. And on the fine side, you have almost no resistance. Then you can just go polish the blade. Nice and light. So all you're doing is buffing the blade. That's nice and sharp. It's more of a difficult blade to sharpen, but once you get your technique down, it's actually pretty easy. Paring knife is straight, so we're going to go at it like this. See what I'm doing? I'm going edge, 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 up. So now the other side. And we get it like basically like a locomotive train. Woo woo! Get the idea? So basically what you're doing is, that's getting nice and sharp. Like an ice skater balances on its blade, his or her blades. Gotta be politically correct. You're doing the same thing. You're balancing on the edge of the blade. You don't want to scrape the sides up. All you're doing is truing and sharpening the edge. Light pressure. Flip it. And we're truing and polishing the blade now. Excuse me while I whip this out. This is the belt I'm wearing around my waist. Now to true and polish the blade even more, what we're going to do is we're going to do something called stropping. Not strapping, stropping. It's polishing the edge of the blade even more. So if the stone was polishing the edge of the blade, the strop or belt, leather belt, really polishes it, really makes it pop. Now that's sharp. Okay, we'll do the same thing with the large chef's knife. This one's a little harder. That's not bad. Now we'll flip it over to the smoother side of the belt. Where there's even less resistance. Sharp blade. Same with this one. And you can also, if you don't have a belt handy, hold on, stand by. You can strop with phone book paper. Fold it up. Nice and sharp, right? And that wasn't too hard. But the thing about sharpening is you get better with time. You know, you're going to find your own groove. Just like Stella got her groove back. You're going to find your own groove, what works for you, what angle works for you. Nobody can tell you. You have to hold it at 90 degrees and twist your wrist to the left while holding one foot in the air and balancing a pixie stick in your ear. It's not going to work that way. It's going to work. You'll find you'll go back and forth and nothing will happen. And it'll even be duller than you started off with. And once you find your groove and what works for you, you'll find it'll get sharper and sharper and sharper. Unlike me, I get duller and duller. Alright guys, later.